If my lips don't stink of wine, my wife won't know they're mine. Welcome home, sir. I am Barnabas Basil Faulty. By order of the Duchess, I shall serve you as Major Domo of Corvo Bianco. I previously served with distinction at the Nibli family manor and in Nazaire with Admiral Rompali, who, as you are certain to know, is an extraordinary, demanding gentleman.
Whoa, Barnabas Basil. One thing you ought to know. I'm not your typical landed gentleman. Truth be told, this is the first real property I've ever owned.
Oh, in that case, you must leave it all to me. I shall organize, see to everything, and whip the house into order. I dare say this place will soon be the most prosperous vineyard around.
Great. Can already see I'm in good hands. Vineyard comes across as a place with a rich history. Know who owned it before me?
Baron Rossel, who went bankrupt, forcing him to sell the estate to the Duchess. The Baron, in turn, had purchased it from Monsieur Bolius of the Headsman, a truly colorful man of Kedweni origin.
He was actually a headsman?
No, not him, but his great-great-great-great-grandfather. Indeed. Apparently, he was a common cutpurse who somehow secured for himself the post of ducal headsman in Beauclair. Went about his work with an exceptional penchant. They say he chopped off more heads than there are grapevines in the ducal vineyards. He never hesitated, not once. Never sliced unevenly, never botched a job. For his exemplary service, the Duke granted him a title and this estate. Monsieur Bolius, on the other hand, was an engineer in his younger years. Once retired, he settled here and took to producing wine. Sadly, misfortune struck and he lost his sense first of smell, then of taste. Additionally, he could not drink alcohol. His medic forbade it.
Shame that. He gave up making wine?
Not at all. He made even more of it. Began throwing wild balls to which he'd invite friends from far and wide in order to treat them to his wine and delight in the fact that at least someone could enjoy it. It's the sort of man he was, Monsieur Bolius.
Mind giving me a little tour de Corvo Bianco?
Not in the least. Follow me, please. I think it would be practical to begin on the hill. Behold, sir, your estate in all its splendor.
Pretty vast.
Indeed. And now, sir, allow me to show you a handful of interesting details. Follow me, please.
Been a major domo all your life?
Yes, I come from a long line of major domos. My father was a major domo, as was my grandfather before him, as was my great-aunt. In fact, she was the one to start the tradition.
Great-aunt?
A hard woman. It is said that already as a child, she knew where she was going and went there. When she arrived in Beauclair, she signed on as a chambermaid at one of the vineyards, then slowly worked her way up to Major Domo. She dragged the rest of the family up the same path.
Who would have thought? Knights trading in wine, while some witcher guards the common folk.
The servants' quarters. I occupy the green home. With the Duchess's permission, I have hired a full staff. Their salaries to be paid from the ducal treasury.
Nice of her.
Not the most sightly part of the estate, I admit. But I think it's worthwhile for you as master of the domain to know where the help stays.
A bushel of grapes is more a burden than that steel of yours.
Baron Rossel ordered the vines in this part of the estate uprooted and olive groves planted in their place. They look beautiful, especially come spring.
Don't look at all bad now, either.
You smell that? Those are the vapors of Busan. And what do you get for all that
Down
work?
below lies your
Cook in
vineyard,
Quebec,
where we
once
grow a
your
strain
honey-
of Carfanere, one of the world's oldest. Aged in oak barrels, it provides for an exquisite wine with distinct blackberry, wild cherry, plum, and cinnamon notes. Marvelous.
Have to try it one of these days.
I work from dawn to dusk's last
Nice well.
Then
Picturesque.
give
Yes, though it ran dry long ago. During the raucous feasts Master Bolius held, he would order it filled with wine. There's a tale about a guest attending a Bolius hall for the first time and thus unaware of the custom. He had suffered great heartbreak and had decided to end his life by jumping into the well. The festivities were coming to a close, and the well was nearly empty when the suicidal guest finally jumped. Instead of killing himself, he merely broke his legs. To numb the pain, he drank the wine.
Drank himself to death?
Not at all. When found the next day, he had concluded he'd witnessed twin miracles. The water had been changed into wine, and he had survived. He retired to a monastery in the Dragon Mountains and began preaching the wisdoms of Lebioda.
Go up to any knight and shout, "The beast!" You'll smell the soiled armor at once.
Monsieur Bolius' wife Nina kept a garden here. A supremely lovely place it was.
Bit neglected now.
I agree. Yet nothing stands in the way of restoring it to its former glory, and once again planting it with herbs and other vegetation. Madame Nina planted diminutive, delicate flowers and herbs here. One might say their aroma still hangs in the air.
You're quite the romantic, Barnabas Basil.
On knight's errand? They're so heroic, we had to summon a witcher.
A witcher? We could use one around here, full time.
This served as an additional wine cellar in years of plentiful harvests.
Bit of work and it'll make a fine stable for Roach.
The cellars, voila. During Monsieur Bolis's time, wine was kept here, but Baron Rossel used it to store olive oil as well. I took the liberty of cleaning up the mess, which...
I made while fighting the Bruxa. Thanks, Barnabas Basil. Appreciate it.
As you can see, the facade is, how to put it, slightly stained. But one cannot deny it, a certain subtle southern charm.
True, though it could use a bit of subtle paint.
And welcome inside. On the left is the master bedroom. On the right, the dining hall and kitchen. Upstairs, you shall find the guest room, currently used for storage.
Not a bad idea.
At the moment, the house is only minimally furnished. Yet I believe we will, together, devise some innovative arrangements. A few paintings, for instance, would breathe new life into the abode immediately. With that, sir, you've seen the full lay of the land. Corvo Bianco is a beautiful estate. Though one must admit, time has taken its toll. Forgive me for being forward, but if you were to choose to invest a small sum towards its beautification, consider me at your service on the matter.
Think I'll take you up on that. Be sure to come and see you if I decide to do any remodeling. Mentioned the place could stand to be spruced up.
Oh, most decidedly, sir. The question is where you would like to begin this rejuvenation.
Been thinking about the outer walls. Maybe a fresh coat of paint or some patching.
If I might dare to make a suggestion, why not start with a general renovation? I once oversaw such work at Admiral Rompelli's summer residence. The effects were simply breathtaking. Not only did the residence positively sparkle afterwards, but we also made room to display the Admiral's armor and weapons, of which he was a passionate collector.
It's in your hands then. Make the place shine.
I shall get to work immediately. Within a day's passing, I shall have sent for the crew which rebuffed the Admiral's residence. They are the finest specialists around. Highly skilled at what they do, it shall not take them too long, I wager. 2 days after they begin, your eyes will behold your residence in its refurbished, rejuvenated, beautified state. Is there anything else you require, sir?
That's all for now, BB. Thanks.
man who dare not down some threat is a man who...
Oh! Keep calm. Start no brawls.
My stomach growls like an angry wolf. Got the shivers.
The dressings, bandages.
What's that about?
The dressings, bandages. Where did I put them?
Forget it. Bandages won't do him any good.
What? Oh, but he breathed still a moment ago.
Mm-hmm. Breathed his last then. Bled to death. Legs broken. Femoral arteries ruptured. Wound like that, you're dead in minutes.
Gods.
What happened here exactly?
I was rolling through, fully loaded, when I heard screams. This one crawled towards the road, then drooped to the ground, lost consciousness. I jumped down to help him, dress his wounds. Then you appeared.
Pretty admirable stopping to help a stranger.
Truthfully, when I saw him, I considered it might be an ambush. The thought entered my mind, I near decided to crack the whip. But to abandon a man in need? It's simply not the decent thing to do.
Decent enough in many other places, believe me. Before you go on, clean your hands thoroughly and burn your shirt. Might also want to rub some thyme on your body to be sure. Smell of blood might attract ghouls otherwise.
Who might you be, precisely?
A witcher.
Oh. Do you expect some beast might have killed him?
See what we have here. Legs broken, but cause of death's the wound. Small but deep, edges unfrayed. Either a thrust weapon or a thick claw. Maybe a wyvern's. Tough to say, and... breastplate's unusual. Dented. It's got a patina.
An antiquity, I believe. I deal in these things, so... what's puzzling is... why did he don it?
Not likely to learn that from him. Now to figure out where he came from. From that house, I'm assuming, but need to investigate. Got some work to do. So long.
Wait, I will come with you.
So be it. But stay close, keep it down, and don't touch a thing. Trail leads to the house on the hill.
Which stands silent as a grave.
Must have been here he broke his legs. Fell while climbing over the wall. Trying to leave the property, probably, after he didn't manage to open the gate. Damn it.
Good gods!
Servant. Stabbed to death. Over a dozen blows with a sharp object. Some post-mortem.
I cannot believe this is the work of a man. It was a monster, to be sure.
Silver tableware. Elven engravings. Torso punctured with great force. Blow pierced hardened steel. Man on the high road. Breastplate was identical. Throats massacred. One mighty blow. Shield along sides old and dented. Sword ceremonial. And Shay handiwork clearly. Ceremonial bowls. For little sacrifices.
Of what? Please, do not say humans.
Burn marks. Something catch fire. Explode. Strong stench. Multiple wounds on the body. All puncture wounds, but hard to tell what caused them. Victim's human, but the attire's elven.
Are you certain? How did he come by it? We've so few non-humans in Tucson.
Fled, then dropped to the ground to douse the flames. Didn't manage. Burnt smells growing fainter. Might have been another luckier soul managed to flee. Doublet scorched. Wriggled out of it, tossed it, then ran on.
Perhaps there's no one inside after...
I know you're in there. Breathing's loud and clear. Open up. We mean you no harm.
They remain there?
Listen, I'm a witcher. I'm here to help you. But if that's gonna happen, you gotta answer some questions first. Who are you exactly?
Durant Faucher Plamondon de Sepharan, Lord of these lands, and Chairman of the Society of Friends of the History of Tucson. We meet here annually to mark the anniversary of the Elfin Homage, but something like this, why, it's a first.
You mentioned them. Who do you mean?
Those, I don't know what they were, spirits. It all occurred of a sudden. We were staging a scene, the death of paying homage. There was a flash of light that blinded me completely. I heard cries, though saw nothing. Then felt my own robes were in flames. I broke and ran, threw off my doublet, leapt in here and shut and locked the door behind me. They pounded on the door. I thought they would get through. I thought I was done for, but in the end, it grew calm.
So while reenacting a scene from the past, somehow, unintentionally, you summoned a specter, a Korgorath, or a tube, maybe.
What? What now?
Best thing? You gotta do it again, of course.
Are you mad? Would you have this thing kill us?
No, don't want it to kill anyone. Precisely why I gotta do my job. Summon it again, whatever it is, and tend to it once and for all. Durand, think I can reenact the pledge, the giving of homage, alone?
It was a great, momentous event. The surrender of Tucson's last elfin king. You will need at least 3 individuals.
You know what I'm gonna ask for. Need your help. But I'll understand if you turn me down. No objections? Good. Let's get to work. Start by clearing the corpses. Got some time. Won't start the reenactment before nightfall. Things of this sort are a lot more likely to work after dusk. One last thing, though. My pay. Don't work for free, you know.
Understood. Just keep the danger at bay, and I shall be generous. Through and through. I will stand, or rather, sit in for King Ludovic, upon the elfin throne, while you, Witcher, will play the Enche ruler. We must don the costumes. All must be just right.
Divethaf, the elven king, hosted Ludovic in his own palace upon his own throne, amidst the blinding glow of a plethora of torches.
Don't interrupt.
Divethaf, the elven king, hosted Ludovic in his own palace upon his own throne, amidst the blinding glow of a plethora. Divethaf laid at Ludovic's feet a loaf of binnen and elfin bread, thus granting humans rule over seed-yielding lands. Divethaf filled the ornate ceremonial bowls with elfin wine. Gwinoet, the swift at long last, the elfin king grasped his sword and shield, thus symbolically passing command of his armies to humans. Elven king, erect Ludovic, then spake.
I accept your allegiance and shall return in 1 year's time to...
Ah! Look! Look! The statues!
Impossible! God's mother!
The sculptures, they came alive. By what witchcraft?
Dunno. Specialize in killing monsters. Reviving them, not so much.
I may know what happened. The statues, you see, once stood in the palace of one Defethov. I acquired them a month past because perhaps I should start at the beginning. This Defethov was to pay tribute to humans, producing statues of this sort each year. Yet he did so but once, for he perished in the massacre of non-humans at the foot of Mount Gorgon in the year 782. It's fortunate he did too, as Defethov had planned Ludovic's downfall, for he sculpted not statues, but columns that masqueraded as such. Columns activated with words said in homage. Columns that would have turned the king and his bodyguards into so much colorful confetti.
Typical. Treachery embodied. Elves. Psheh.
You're no better. Elves were just defending their territory. You humans took it, but you still weren't sated. Had to cut the elves down, every last one.
You? What does that mean? You're a man as we are.
Yeah, in a way. Just ashamed to have to admit it sometimes.
Your words, they're wrong, Witcher. But I'll not let you leave empty-handed. Take this, reward.
Farewell.